we're at the Kirk Seeley Ride Day today, you know, and even though he's passed, it's a good way to get out there, and it's a foundation, builds money, helps out people. And we're out here today just riding, hanging out. We're out here with all, I don't say, about 20, 25 MX guys out here today. We're all camped out together, just riding, having a good old time, and you know, rode all day. No one got hurt. Now we're drinking some beers, so that's about it. I did 23 years. I'm a retired Chief Petty Officer. I spent 22 years flying LCACs, which is a big Navy hovercraft. So we transport marine equipment from ship to shore, anything from like 13 Hummers to an Abrams tank. So I worked a lot with the Marines, and then I was in the amphibious Navy, and I stayed in the same community for my entire career. I progressed up from the bottom of the craft crew spectrum, all up to like running a craft of my own. When I retired, I had this big void in my life again, because I going to a regular job, working 9 to 5, or sitting at a desk when you're flying hovercraft, for all these years, how can you compete with that? So, with the VetMX and the motocross, it really kind of filled that void that I had when I felt like I was missing out on something. I was missing the excitement in life. Motocross, definitely, in VetMX, the guys and hanging out with everybody helps me out and gives me that thrill in life and kind of that adventure and excitement that you want. That I don't think we necessarily think that we really want it or crave it, but we do. You're so used to living like this wild life and going overseas and going to war and chasing Somali pirates or whatever it is. And like I said, flying a cool hovercraft to, hey, I'm my full-time dad now, or I got to sit behind this desk and do this paperwork, and it drove me nuts. I started riding dirt bikes when I was 9 years old. My stepdad got me into it, and I rode from 9 to about 15, 16, and then I started getting in some trouble and everything, and then they sold my dirt bike, my parents, tried to get me in line, and then I ended up joining the military at 18, and I didn't ride from, I'd say, 99 was probably the last year I rode, and then I started riding again in 2020. So I took quite a long break from riding motocross, like 20 years, yeah. And then I started racing again, got the groove, and then in 21 I broke my neck. So I broke my C2 to my T1, and I was laid up for a while, and they told me I wouldn't be able to ride dirt bikes anymore, and I sold my dirt bike. And then I went back after like 6 weeks to get a checkup, and they're like, miraculously, you healed. And the first thing I did, I went out and bought another dirt bike, and started riding again. My wife was so pissed off at me, but I love the sport, and it's a good sport, and it's cool people, and it's a thrill. I like the thrill of it. To me, riding motocross is actually like relaxing. So it's just like I'm really only just focusing on one thing, and it's trying to stay off my head. So, and then one day I was at Lake Elsinore. I saw a VetMX tent, right, like we have behind us here, and that's when I met Mark, and he told me, like, hey man, this is a motorcycle club for dirt bikes and all. It's military based. Everybody that joins is military members or prior service, and with me, it helps feel a sense of camaraderie that I didn't have after I retired. I did 23 years. Getting back into the civilian sector of life, there's a big gap, because you experience so much stuff and you've seen things that the average human doesn't see or experience, and they can't relate to you on that. So when you can be with a group of guys that have experienced the same thing you have in life, you don't even have to talk about it, or anything, but you just know that they know how you feel. It almost is kind of like a sense of, like, an easy sense being around them. Like I see these guys, maybe once a month or every now and then, but it's like I just saw them yesterday. We're all hanging out, we're all BSing, we're making fun of each other's branches, and just like you did it when you're in the military. And honestly, you kind of like, you feel safe. You feel safe around them. Like there was a long time, when I was in the military and I come home, I couldn't be in big crowds, or I get nervous being around people, or if I spoke a certain way, I think like, if I cursed a lot or I spoke my mind, then I felt like I was kind of ostracized. But when I'm with these guys and I'm at the events, and at the clinics or the national and all, I just feel like I'm back in the service, and I'm with a bunch of brothers and sisters, and it's just fun. You know, like I went to my first national the same year I retired, and I had this huge gap, and I was kind of feeling lost. I was feeling lost in life, and the foundation, the VetMX Foundation, it fills that void for me. Yeah, we do the national. Everybody gets together and have a good time racing all week and doing clinics. We've had some pros come out and help us ride and give us techniques and pointers. We even have a Facebook page, you know. So I can sit there, I go on the Southwest VetMX page and be like, "Hey, riding Fox tomorrow," and then 2 or 3 guys show up just to ride with me, you know. I would like to see VetMX get out there a little more, you know, and it's tough as a veteran when you get a phone call that one of your friends committed suicide, you know, and it happens more than you think, like to the point where, like, you know, you think that the Grim Reaper is real, man. Like death's apparent, and even after these guys come back from war and they make it home, and you get to the point where you're lost in life, and maybe you don't feel like you have a sense of purpose or no one understands you, but there's a group of guys that ride motocross and we all understand you, and that, you know, and it sucks. Like, you know, I lost count of the amount of people that have committed suicide that were friends of mine because they couldn't come home and adapt to being civilians anymore. And it'd be cool, like, to get it out there, even if it's just, you don't even know how to ride, man, come ride my bike. I'll let you borrow my gear. There's no purpose for you, and all of us go through stuff, and, you know, I've been on the VetMX page at 11 o'clock at night in California and seen a person from the Midwest say, "Hey man, I think about committing suicide tonight." And then you see, like, all this stuff blow up, like, "Hey man, we're here for you, here's my number, give me a call, don't do that," you know. And I think VetMX community in a whole, we all look out for each other, and I want all veterans to know that, yeah, in this crazy dangerous sport of motocross, we've all thrived in danger, we've all thrived in wild times and shenanigans, and you still have that same kind of stuff without getting shot at. Just because you get out of the military doesn't mean you're not a part of something anymore, you know. And that's what VetMX is, part of something again.
Thanks to your generous donations and sponsorships, the Veteran MX Foundation continues its mission. Become a partner today and be part of our feature video series, That Others May Ride. Please note, documentary in the comments or on your check. Thank you for supporting our veterans, and God bless the USA.